And then he turns to Thomas and says, here, you want to put your fingers in the nail holes? There they are. You want to put your hand in my side? Here it is. And he looks at Thomas and he says, Thomas, you need to be a believer. And he says, beyond that, he says, you believe because you see. Blessed are those who believe and don't see. Folks, I think he was talking to all the rest of us today that don't have the ability, as the first century apostles did, to be there and actually see Christ. He's speaking to those of us that believe because of faith. Faith is a funny thing. It is one of those things that you can't measure. You can't point to and say, this is exactly what faith is, other than a belief in something very special. We use the term in many, many ways, and yet it is the most important concept in our religion, in our total concept, because without faith, which is what Christ was telling Thomas he needed to have, without faith, we don't have anything. We really don't. There are two kinds of faith, too, folks. There's what's called cognitive faith, and there is the true kind of faith. Cognitive faith, unfortunately, is easily distinguished between the real thing. Cognitive faith is where you believe in God up here. We're very, very intelligent, very logical, very reasoning society. We value reason above many other things. But I'm here to tell you, folks, you cannot reason your way to God. Now, there's a whole list of church fathers, fortunately, unfortunately, many of them's names start with A. And they all came to one conclusion over the centuries. Abelard and Athanasius, from Aquinas, from Augustine, to so many others, they came to one conclusion, all of them. You cannot reason your way to God. It has to be based on deep, heartfelt faith. You can keep telling yourself you believe, and you believe, and you believe, and the truth about your belief will eventually come out in your behavior. I have unfortunately seen far too many times when we who are the church, the body of Christ, are put in a position to make decisions, and our decisions are based on concept or thought or things of this world and have little to do with faith. One of the saddest situations that exists today is the concept that we put money before we do faith. Oftentimes we make decisions as churches based on what? Our finances rather than our faith. We make decisions about ministries or the things we should do around money instead of faith. And so you'll know it, one of the things that just infuriates me the worst is when I hear somebody say, well, yes, that's a great idea, but we need to be practical. No, what you're saying is we need to forget about faith and deal with things in the concept of the world. Folks, we're not here to be the concept of the world. We're here to be different things. The rest of the world can be practical. We're supposed to deal and work on faith. Amen. And the minute we stop doing that, we stop being a church. We stop being the body of Christ. We stop dealing with things based on God's will and start start making it about man's will. And folks, it just won't work. It just will not work. And that's one of the huge problems we're running into today, is the fact that we see the demise of churches, we see the demise of congregations and all. And if you check them and follow them back, you'll find somewhere back there the decisions started being made based upon practicality or finances rather than on faith. Yes, we have to have money, and yes, we have to deal with the things of the world. But we have to begin everything by trusting in God. We have to deal with this world based on faith, because otherwise we're no different than the world, are we? We're just another social club that worries about its bottom line before it worries about what else we're supposed to be doing. The whole purpose of the church is what? Somebody. Saving souls. That's the purpose that we're here for. That's the whole purpose of the church, folks. It's not to exist for a fine and wonderful place to come on Sunday morning. It's here to be active in the world about saving people's souls. That comes before everything else.